Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and this is episode 42 of my Billions and Billions challenge. In today's episode, I am going to set up a system that will be able to automatically produce molten salt fuel for use in fission reactors from the mod NuclearCraft. So let's get started. The first thing that I want to do is I actually want to get some of the fuel that I have here at my fission or my NuclearCraft base, and I need to get it over into the gold building over there. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have. So I have a bunch of crafters down here, and they are set up to actually make different types of fuels. And the type of fuel I think I'm going to be using is going to be the LEU-235, which is made by this crafter right here. If you're not familiar with this system, I set this system up, I don't know, maybe a couple episodes ago or so. But what I'm going to do is I need to hook up some item conduit here, and I need to be out or in on blue on the other side, so I need to keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and run this over, and I'm going to have to punch a hole in the wall here. I should have some facades with me, so I should be able to cover this up. So let's punch that hole. Let's put that there. Let's put another one, and then we can facade that up. Let's go up. And then let's run this item conduit through the street and into my building over here. Cool. Oh my goodness. I'm struggling a little bit flying here, but we're okay. So there we go. So I need to make that in on blue on the other side. And let's go ahead and close those doors. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually grab this modular storage unit, which should be empty at this point, and I'm going to put it right here, I think. So let's actually go ahead and dig this out right here, because I'm going to be putting some of the energy conduit down here, and that's because I'm going to have several machines today that I will need to be using, so I might as well set up the power source for that. And I'm going to be using Ender energy conduit, and I'm going to hook up to this line over here. Under these machines, I actually have cryostabilized flux duct, but under these machines, I actually have the Ender energy conduit. So that's what I'm going to be using. Let's actually make sure that I can actually hook up to that. And that doesn't matter that I do that, but let's go ahead and run this conduit all the way over, so that any of the machines that I place up here will have access to that power. So let's get rid of that, and let's go ahead and run this item conduit over. And I'm just gonna run it straight over. I should have some filters with me. I do, so I will need those here in a second. So I'm actually going to run this over one and then down. So what I'm going to do is right here is I'm going to drop this modular storage unit, and I do need to throw in a filter here, and I need to tell it to only accept the LEU-235 fuel. LEU-235. There we go. So that should be good. Now we need to set this up to be insert on blue, and that's fantastic. So we should see some LEU-235 fuel start flowing in here, and it has. So what we're going to do with this LEU-235 fuel is we are going to melt it down using a melter. Now it's actually pretty important that I don't want to connect this item conduit to any of the item conduit I'm going to be using along here. So I'm going to put this melter right here. I am going to insert 10 speed upgrades and 10 energy upgrades into this. And I'm going to use item conduit here to actually get the items out of the LEU-235 fuel, rather, out of the storage unit here and into the melter. So let's just go ahead and set this up, and we can do this on the green channel. That's fine. And so what this melter will do is it will melt down this fuel. So actually what I should do is I should take a look at what the final fuel is going to be. So the final fuel is actually going to be called it's actually molten fluorine, lithium, beryllium, salt solution of LEU-235 fluoride fuel. So actually, to get this is a pretty complicated process, which is why I have several machines with me. And the first thing that we'll need to do is we'll need to obviously melt down this fuel. I actually have a chart of how I'm going to do everything. So we do have some molten LEU 235 fuel. We need to mix this with several other things to actually be able to get a usable fuel in a molten salt reactor. So let's dive in here. So the next thing that I think I want to do is I want to set up an electrolyzer for hydrofluoric acid, and that will produce fluorine. And I actually have hydrofluoric acid over here as a byproduct of a system that I set up, I don't know, maybe a couple episodes ago. But this system was actually set up to make this calcium sulfate here, but I have adjusted it a little bit between episodes. So one thing that I've done over here is, actually, let's go back to a rock crusher system I actually had in existence in, I don't know, 2 episodes ago or so. So what I originally had here was a modular storage unit filled with granite, and the granite would be pushed in this rock crusher, and it would produce this crushed rhodochrosite, whatever this is. I'm not even going to try to say that right now. And then sulfur. What I had originally was I was just keeping this, and I was actually throwing away this and the sulfur, but I've decided to actually keep that stuff. In addition, I added this igneous extruder, which is able to actually produce granite very easily. It produces granite out of, it actually takes 0 lava, but you do have to have lava in the tank here, and then I have a water unit behind it. I also have a similar system for, let me see here. Where is it? For diorite. And I did build that 2 episodes ago as well. The only new system that I have built is the andesite system. Once again, it's pretty much the same thing. Igneous extruder gets rock crushed, and then it produces 3 things. One of those 3 things, actually, I think maybe 2 of them. But anyways, this beryllium dust is going to be really, really important to us. And this hydrofluoric acid is going to be important. So what I need to do with the hydrofluoric acid is I need to throw it into an electrolyzer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my electrolyzer right here. And once again, I'm going to throw in some speed upgrades and some energy upgrades. And I need to actually hook this up with this interfluid conduit here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry this up to the ceiling, and then we're going to carry it over and then make a turn right here, and then drop it down right into the electrolyzer. So this will be insert, and it's not connected to any other energy or fluid conduit here, so we can just have it be on the green channel, and we should start to get some hydrofluoric acid here. And let's see what it produces, because I think it's like fluorine and something else. I might actually have to change the colors here, and actually I am going to do that because I think it produces hydrogen, and I'm going to have the hydrogen come into here on the green channel. So let's go ahead and change this to white channel. I think that will work fine. I don't think I have the white channel anywhere else. So let's see here. Yeah, hydrogen and fluorine. We will need the fluorine. We don't need the hydrogen. So let's go ahead and set up this to be extract on the green channel, because we need the hydrogen to come over here into this hydrogen tank. And actually, do I have this set up correctly? So right now, my hydrogen tank is actually almost completely full. Literally really, really close to being completely full. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add hydrogen to this basic fluid filter here for right now. And what that should do is it should allow hydrogen to flow into this trash can should it have nowhere else to go. Also, these interfluid conduits have priorities. I have this set to a -1 priority, whereas the other tanks are set to positive priorities. So theoretically, the hydrogen should try to come in here first, and then it will be disposed of if it needs to be. So let's go ahead and set that up. So extract, that's cool. And I don't see any of the hydrogen leaving. So that's not ideal. Did I do something wrong? This is on the green channel. That's not even hydrogen. Is this on the green channel? That is. So not really sure why that is not flowing. That's really, really weird. Do I have this set up to be weird or something? That is really, really weird. I've not had problems with these NuclearCraft machines at all until right now, as far as the I/O goes, because I've been pulling things out of the top of these things forever. Is that actually... You know what the problem is? The problem is I'm dumb. And the problem is it's not actually connected. So what I need to do is this. So that should fix the problem. Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's see here. What do we need to do with the fluorine? So I need to send this to a chemical reactor. But I actually need something else to also go to this chemical reactor. Let's go ahead and set up this chemical reactor. We can't use it just yet because we only have one of the things that we actually need for it. But we can go ahead and plop it down. Let's go ahead and hook that up to the interfluid conduit as well. Let's go ahead and set up a filter. Actually, I don't have a filter. So what I'm going to do is Okay, I didn't mean for that to happen. So what I need to do is, let's go ahead and actually get rid of this connection. And let's tell this to extract always on into here. I kind of hope this doesn't, it's going to accept the hydrogen. So actually what I need to do is I need to go back and grab some fluid filters. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I will be right back. So I have my fluid filters. Let's go ahead and try to set this up once again. So let's grab the interfluid conduit here, and let's go ahead and throw in a fluid filter, and let's tell it to only accept fluorine here. So I'm going to have to manually search for this, but that's okay. So fluorine from NuclearCraft, it can only accept that. And eventually we'll have to edit this fluid filter to accept one other thing, and I'm not sure what that thing is yet. But we'll find out here in a little bit. So it's going to be molten lithium. I can go ahead and tell you that now. Let's see here. I might have to go ahead and set up the lithium aspect of this, and that might be the best way to go here. So I'm going to need a... I have an inner chest here with lithium ore in it. So let's go ahead and set that up. Let's just say right here. And it has lithium ore in it. And what we need to do is we need to melt this down into molten lithium. And let's go ahead and add these upgrades to this machine. And I did not mean to do that. I meant to add speed upgrades. I'm using my scroll wheel in case you didn't know to add those. So let's go ahead and add this item conduit here. We can do out on the green channel and then in on the green channel as well. And this is just going to be filled with lithium ore from my main base. So we're going to melt down this lithium, and this lithium needs to come over to this chemical reactor. So let's go ahead and add the lithium, and it's just molten lithium, to the fluid filter here. There are different types of lithium here, and any of them I believe are acceptable as long as they are NuclearCraft variants. You can use molten lithium 6, molten lithium 7, or just molten lithium, which is right here. That's the second filter right there. So let's go ahead and add this, and this can be out on green. Okay, where's my lithium? Oh, you know what? It's because I did the item. Let's go ahead and try this again. There's my molten lithium. So this will actually produce molten lithium fluoride, which we will need later, apparently. Okay, so what we need to do with this molten lithium fluoride is to send it to a salt mixer, which we do have some of those right here. So let's put this right here, and let's have this be out on the... Do I have anything set up to the black channel? I don't think I do. Is this fluid? This is fluid. So we can't do black, white, can't do white. Do I have anything on the orange channel? I don't think so. I don't see any orange. So that's what we're going to do. Out on the orange channel. And this needs to be on the orange channel here. So let's see. Molten lithium fluoride goes here. So in on orange, and then we should be able to connect that up, and we should see the molten lithium fluoride. So I will probably need an item filter at some point, or a basic fluid filter. So let's go ahead and tell it to accept molten lithium fluoride. And that actually should be right here. So that's cool. I will need to add one more thing to that fluid filter. So let's see here. So this is a salt mixer. We need beryllium fluoride is the other thing we need here. So for that, we'll need beryllium. And okay, so I just need a melter. And I actually have the beryllium dust somewhere over here already. And I just need to find that. And I think it's right here. Okay, so cool. Is this item connected? Is this item conduit connected to up to anything? So I just have the green over here on these two item conduits. So I can go ahead and connect this pretty easily. Let's go ahead and say out on the brown channel. And then we can just run this item conduit over. And into right here. And this needs to be in on the brown channel. And this should give me the beryllium. Do I have this set up correctly? I don't. So the beryllium dust should be coming over here and then make molten beryllium. And so what we're going to do with that is we are going to send it to a chemical reactor. And we need fluorine as well in this chemical reactor. So chemical reactor needs to go right here. And we need to hook this up to fluid conduit. And this needs to be in on, I believe, the green channel. No, it needs to be in on the white channel. Because we need that fluorine. No, it does need to be green because this is accepting the hydrofluoric acid and making the fluorine. And actually, I might want to invest in more speed upgrades in this particular machine because I am going to be using the fluorine from this electrolyzer in 2 different processes. So this needs to be in on green. And I went the wrong way there. And we will need a fluid filter. This needs to be fluorine. And let's see here, as well as the molten beryllium. Okay, let's see here. So we need to connect this up. And it might be all connected up at this point. I'm not really sure. So yeah, it looks like we're a little low on the fluorine because, yes. So actually, I'm going to run back to my main base really, really fast. And you know what, I can just go ahead and do this on camera. Sorry if things are a little stuttery here, so I just need to look for some upgrades. And let's just tell it to make 100 of each. These upgrades are made really, really quickly, so it's not really a big deal here. So I just want to grab, say, a stack of each. It does look like that particular, the electrolyzer does need to be sped up quite a bit. It does seem to be slow in the first place, and then when you factor in that it's actually feeding 2 chemical reactors, probably should speed it up. So here's the electrolyzer. Let's go ahead and just throw in a buttload of upgrades. So as we see here, this is moving a little bit quicker now. And this will produce beryllium fluoride, which we need to introduce into the salt mixer with the lithium fluoride. So let me see here. Whoa, that was a really bad stutter. So it needs to come over here. So we need to go to the fluid conduit and tell it to also accept beryllium fluoride. There we go, molten beryllium fluoride. Okay, so just for right now, let's go ahead and tell it to have a higher priority over here. Okay, so I didn't set this up. That's what's going on over here. So let's actually knock that back down to 0. That way it's the same as the other chemical reactor that needs fluorine. And I do need to set up this extract point here. So do I have this set up correctly? Fluorine, molten beryllium. I think that is correct. So I do need to tell it to extract. And once again, I did I did the item conduit side of it. Yeah. So that should make things work. So this should be beryllium fluoride. Let's go ahead and throw in some upgrades once again. Speed this up a little bit. And that beryllium fluoride should come over here to the salt mixture, I believe. Do I have that correct? Okay, so where's my beryllium fluoride? It's not going anywhere because I didn't set this up. My goodness. Okay, so the molten beryllium fluoride should be able to come over here. Not really sure why it's not. I am going to throw in these upgrades while I'm here. Molten beryllium fluoride. Am I missing something? What am I doing wrong here? I'm really not sure why this isn't going. Other than this is... Oh my goodness. Sorry, this needs to be orange. Okay, that should fix that. So we have some molten FLIBE salt mixture, which stands for molten fluorine lithium beryllium salt mixture. So now I think the last thing that we need to do with this is actually to mix it with my LEU 235 molten fuel that I have right here. So, and for that, wait, am I missing a step? I feel like I'm missing a step. I am. I'm missing one more step, and that would be the chemical reactor that I need over here. Because I need to mix this with fluorine before I can actually mix it with this molten FLIBE salt mixture. Okay, so cool. So I need fluorine over here as well. So you know what? While I'm at it, let's go ahead and just max out the upgrades here in this electrolyzer. And this is out on the green channel. So let's run this conduit over. Let's get rid of that right. Let's not get rid of that. Oh, shoot. And I didn't mean to do that either. So what I need here is a fluid filter, and so we need the molten LEU 233 fuel. And it just needs to be 235. I think I said 233 just there. It needs to be 235. Yeah, that's what I have. And then we need fluorine as well. And then let's go ahead and tell it to insert. Let's get rid of what we have in those tanks because we need to get rid of that stuff. And we do need to tell this to go ahead and extract, which I probably don't have that on. Just in case you didn't notice, making this fuel is kind of complicated. So let's turn that on. It should be able to come over here, and this should mix up. Let's go ahead and add some upgrades once again. Make this just a little bit faster. And then we should be able to mix this in a chemical reactor. Or a salt mixer rather, with what we have over here. And that should be able to make our fuel. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's put this right here. And that's not what we want. Molten FL. Okay. FLIBE. Yes, it's just that. Oh, sorry, I didn't actually hit the fluid filter button here. So we need that, and then we need the LEU 235. And we need it to be the, I think it's the fluoride fuel. Let me double check this. Yes. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. And at some point, okay, so this will be out on the green. I don't have that on. Let's go ahead and tell it to be on. And this will make the actual fuel that we are going to be pumping into the fission reactors. So it looks like I don't quite have enough of, oh, I know, that's the wrong mixture, I think, because it needs to be the fluoride fuel. Did I set that up correctly? Looks like I did. Did I set this side up correctly? I did not. Kind of figured something was up. I think that is good. That should flow over here. And this is the actual fuel that I will be using in the reactor. Now this system might need to be sped up between episodes, but the thing is, for all intents and purposes, it is done. It doesn't look the greatest because it's a little bit convoluted to follow where everything goes, because some things come over here and then go back to the left and then go back to the right. But this is producing the final fuel here. And so what we're going to do with the final fuel here is, let's go ahead and tell it to be extract on the, let's do the pink channel, because why not? So this will be out on pink, and this will need to be in on pink as well. So I do need to actually get rid, or I need to refresh this, and you can do that by just throwing it in the crafting grid. And that should, cool. So there we go. This is a fully automated system that will be able to produce this molten salt solution of fuel of LEU 235 that will be able to be used in a molten salt reactor in the future. So I think that's a pretty good wrapping up point. Hopefully you were able to at least a little bit follow along to what I was doing. I know it's a little bit complicated, and I definitely screwed up several times because I had issues with the conduits. Let's not lie. But yeah, just so you know, this is a complicated process. This is just kind of the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot that I will need to set up before I actually will have a functioning molten salt reactor system. But I think it'll be really, really cool to have. So anyways, if you enjoyed today's episode, feel free to drop a like down below. And if you like watching automation type stuff in modern Minecraft, usually it's a little more organized than today's episode was, but we got what we wanted. We have the fuel. Definitely consider subscribing to my channel if that is the case. Anyways, signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.